Thank you all for joining me on An Ordinary Journey with Leigh Thomas. Yep, that's me out there on the road again. On the road again. I'm out here looking for some great guests and topics for us to explore. And boy, do we have things to talk about. So don't forget, it is a call-in show. Give me a call at 846-5067, and let's get this conversation started. With a sense of humor, of course. Now let me just find a parking spot and I'll be right in. Don't y'all start without me. Hey everybody, welcome to An Ordinary Journey with Leigh Thomas, and I am of course Leigh Thomas, I know. Do you know how much fun I have saying that every Thursday night at 7 and 12 seconds or something like that? I don't know, but every Thursday night you open the door and you let me come in, and we go to the kitchen, we have a little cup of coffee, sometimes we go to the den, have a glass of wine. That's really my favorite, and it's too late at night to have coffee, okay? So next time I come in, let's just have a little glass of wine and sit down and discuss the things that are going on for the day. I know, that's what we do here. So, you know, we can't get this show started without thanking everybody who helps put this together, because it takes a village, trust me. So we got Cliff. We have to say thank you to Cliff and Steve, and of course James and Buster. And Andrew's not here tonight, but we thank him anyway. And I have a big thank you. I so much want to show you what happened like 10 days ago. It's just too exciting. We used to have an intern here, and his name was Brendan Meeker, and he was the sweetest guy, and he actually adopted one of the little kitties on the air when he was doing the show. He ran off, joined the service. You know how these kids are. And then he got married, and about 10 days ago, he had a little baby named Rylan. Take a look at this picture. That's Rylan. Isn't that adorable? So I just want to say thank you to Brendan, and then there's a picture of him with the family. There they are, getting ready to go home from the hospital. So congratulations to Danielle and Brendan on their little baby Rylan, and we just want to say thank you again. So, you know, we can't get the show started without talking about our four-footed furry friends. We've got to find some homes for some of them, and let's take a little look at the four-footed kitty version. I know, here's the one that was found, and it still hasn't found a home. It needs a home. I know, look at that little face. How can you not love that little face? They found it in Red Lion. It was abandoned there. So if you know anybody, maybe it ran away. If you know anybody who's missing a baby, have them contact heavenlypaws.com, and Anne will be happy to help you get this little baby back home. And if that little baby's not one for you, how about Pumpkin? Take a little look at Pumpkin. Pumpkin's a year old, and Pumpkin's a very healthy female. She's been spayed. She's very affectionate. She loves to snuggle. So if Pumpkin is in your place in your heart, maybe you can take Pumpkin home with you. If Pumpkin's not who you're looking for, how about Samson? Take a look at this sweet baby. Laid back, he's a 1-year-old neutered male, and he's up for adoption. He really needs to get home, and he can be seen. They're having an adoption fair at the West York Petco, so he can be seen there. And again, all of these babies are at the heavenlypawsshelter.com. I know I always mess it up and try to say .org, but it's heavenlypawsshelter.com. And go on their website, take a look at some of the other babies. They've got so many babies that are up for adoption. But of course, if it's not a four-footed furry baby of the kitty variety, we've got some dogs for you. And I keep asking you all, and now over at East York Veterinary Center, they actually have this big digital plaque thing that they have, and Chester is the highlight of this digital showing that they've got over there. Chester needs to find a home. I keep telling you about Chester. He's such a sweetheart. He's part Dachshund, and he needs to find a home because he's been there for so long waiting to be adopted. He's getting very depressed by staying in that little cage that they keep him in. Even though he's got lots of people who come in and play with him, Chester needs a forever home. So could you help us, please? We need to get Chester a home. Now this little baby is a lost little boy that they found in West York. He needs to find a home. He is a small mixed breed, but he is too cute. He needs to find a home. So if you know anybody who has lost their baby over in West York area, take a little look at this baby and see if we can't get him home. He's white and black, as you can see, with some brown patches, some around his eyes, and he went missing on June 21st. So if you've seen him, if you know anybody who's taking care of a baby because it happened to wander into their backyard, see if you know someone who's looking for this baby, and have them contact East York Veterinary Center, or contact us. We have Tammy's contact information right here, but we'll have it if you want to call in if you know who this baby is. So call us and we'll be happy to give you all that information, okay? So you know how it goes. If you've got a place in your heart for a baby and you're not sure if you want to have that responsibility, they did this commercial with Target and it just cracked me up, and I thought you all need to take a little look at this. Check this out.
Hey, I'm Fritz, and this is Chico.
Hi, everybody. What's up? Don't forget me.
Not your show, Fish. We're talking about the amazing haul our owner just brought us from Target.
Food. I love food. Fritz, I don't know why, but I just love food.
You know what? Me too, man.
Yeah, like my job as a dog is to host this show and eat.
Hey. Leave some for the big guy.
What? What else is there? What else is there?
We got all kinds of amazing stuff besides food. Let me see here. I got some treats over here. We got...
Careful.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry. I'll just put that back. No, I can't.
Did you get anything from me?
No, never does. Stop asking. Now, looks like we got some new, bow ties?
Yeah.
Guess those are for us.
Yeah, they are. Bow ties.
Oh, really?
I love bow ties because I feel like I'm going to the office.
We don't go to an office.
Is there one for me?
Last time, Fish!
Okay.
What the?
Oh!
Mailman?
I hate the mailman! Wait for me! Help me!
Mailman!
Get away from my door! Get away from my door! Get away from my door! My clockwork, that
Every
guy.
day. I'm sorry about that. I don't know what happened.
It just comes over me.
Right over both of us.
All right, sorry about that. Let's get on track. Let's see what else we got.
Oh, let's see. Oh, here's a rawhide bone for you.
Rawhide.
And, there's one big one for me.
Wait a minute.
And,
You.
whoa.
What happened, buddy?
Squeaky toys.
Chico.
I love squeaky
I
toys.
know, Cheeks.
Meow. It's so squeaky. Look at this. No, don't look at it.
What?
I'm hiding it. I'm hiding it because it's mine.
You're digging in a cushion. All right, what's that you got there?
Shackle balls.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, me neither.
It's pronounced shakeable.
Moving on. What do we have here? Advanced training pads. That puddle was you.
No.
You tried to blame that on me.
Yes, no, yes.
Chico.
This is my house. I go wherever I want.
It's
Yes.
not how it works.
Yes, that's it. I'm done.
See all the fun you're missing by not having a 4-footed furry baby in your house? I know. And I know Valerie's sitting out here in the audience and she's cracking up because she knows that's exactly what goes on when you're not at home. I know. I've been there myself. So actually, I'm so excited, and I guess I haven't told you this, but you know, my little baby passed away at Christmas, and so I've been babyless for all these months, and now I'm rescuing a baby, and it shows up on Saturday night. I'm so excited. It's coming all the way from Kentucky, and not that there aren't some beautiful babies here that need to be rescued. This just happens to be a friend of a family member who can't take care of their baby any longer, so I'm getting a baby on Saturday. I'm going to have all that unconditional love in my life, and so if you want unconditional love in your life, go out and find yourself a 4-footed furry baby. SPCA, heavenlypawsshelter.com, or over at East York Veterinary Center. They can use all the help you can give them. Your time, you can donate your time. You can donate money. We all like money. You can donate, you know. So donate anything that you might get for your own baby, and they will be so happy to accept any of your donations. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, I got a question for you. I don't know if you saw this picture a couple of weeks ago, but this should teach everybody to be careful about what they say. Take a look. Do you know this man? I know. Look at that face. Well, this guy sat on a train. You know, in Manhattan and in New York, you take the trains back and forth all over the place. And so this woman was sitting there, and there were 3 guys sitting there talking. And this one guy was alleged about, he was talking about the cheating that he did, and he was publicly shamed because now his picture's gone viral, and wouldn't you know, I bet his wife has seen it. Anyway, this lady who was sitting next to them endured a 2-hour train ride. I know, from Philadelphia, and she listened, as she put it, she listened to this loser and his friends brag about their multiple affairs, and you know, how they hadn't been caught. And so she decided, well, let me just put his picture up on Facebook, and that's what she did. So my question to you is, what have you done lately that you wouldn't want somebody spreading on Facebook? I know. Give me a call, 846-5067. And be nice, okay? Be nice. Because I know some of it could get a little touchy, but this guy was so stupid to sit there and talk about all of his affairs. So my question is, what would you have done with that guy, and what have you done that you don't want somebody else shooting a picture of and sending it viral? I know. You can't trust anybody these days. Everybody's got a cell phone. Everybody's got a video on their cell phone. So even if they just take a picture, that's one thing, but they could take the video. And you know, if she had done a video with that lady who is married to that guy would have a really great divorce case, because he just laid it all out there. So anyway, give me a call, 846-5067, and let's get that conversation started. So here's my soapbox, okay? Actually, I'm going to let you take a look at this first, and then we'll talk about the soapbox. Take a look at this.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Alin with Eye Opener, and here's a story that's, well, beautiful. This restaurant in Brazil offered every female customer who walked through the door a free meal. But there's a catch. All she had to do was answer yes to the question, "Are you beautiful?" Watch this. Pretty cool, right? The promotion was a way for the restaurant to celebrate International Women's Day. And even though it was back in March, the video was just posted the other day. For other stories that'll brighten up your day, check us out online at eyeopenertv.com.
Okay, so here's my thing, all right? All right, it's a great thing, you know, to be beautiful and get a free lunch, but here we go again with that, putting that on people, you know, people making judgments about what you look like. Why couldn't every woman who came in have a free lunch? I'm just asking, you know, I mean, I'm really getting upset with the way that TV or magazines and now it's a restaurant who is putting pressure on women to be beautiful. You only get a free lunch if you're beautiful? There's something wrong with this. You know, we really have to start respecting each other as people and human beings, as opposed to just beautiful objects. You know, we're not objects. We shouldn't be treated as objects. So I really have a problem with that restaurant. So that's another thing. Give me a call, 846-5067. We got lots to talk about tonight. And I have a great show for you tonight. A friend of mine wrote a little book. It's a little controversial, but she's going to join us tonight. We're going to have so much fun talking about it. But before she joins us, take a little listen to this.
Hey, what are you reading? It's not personal, it's penis. My boyfriend gave it to me. He said men will love it and women need it. Everyone I know is reading It's Not Personal, It's Penis. It's written by a woman who interviewed men, and they revealed to her what they want and need from relationships with women. You will be amazed how these men open up and share their feelings. Listen to some of these chapter titles. He hurts when. He loves it when. Peace be still. His man cave. He was gone before he left, and my favorite, If I am the one, why is he with her? This book is awesome and has worthwhile material for every woman who has a man or wants to keep one.
Sounds like a winner to me. May I borrow it?
No way! Get your own copy of It's Not Personal, It's Penis. I need this book as a resource. Go to Trafford.com or BarnesandNoble.com and order your copy before they sell out. Like I said, every man loves it, and I must admit, my boyfriend was right. All women really need it if they truly care about keeping their man happy. Gotta run now, gotta do something my man will love.
Joined by Lolita A. Kelson.
Hi, Leigh.
How you doing, girl?
I'm well. How are you today?
I'm doing great. I love this book.
Thank you.
You know,
Thank you.
The title has to get people talking.
It gets your attention, doesn't it?
It does. It does. Yes. It's like when I used to do marketing and I was doing games and puzzles for my own company.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to put everything in a red box, you know, because you knew that when people walked in, they would see the red box, you know. But I wish I had a camera to go to the bookstore just to watch the look on their faces when they read the title. So how did you come up with this title?
Well, you know, Leigh, I needed a title that, number one, was going to be catchy and create interest. So it's not personal, it's P, you know what it is, Real Men Feel. And I added the Real Men Feel because it's not a sexual book. It's more about emotions and feelings and thoughts and expressions from men. But the name of the book, as you know, is It's Not Personal, It's Penis, Real Men Feel.
There you go. There you go. So again, I wish I had a camera. Just be a fly on the wall for a little while, right?
You know, usually when I tell people the title of the book, when I say it the first time, they say they're listening, and then all of a sudden, it's what? What? Oh, I want to read that. It sounds intriguing.
I was telling somebody about it today, and I had to say it 3 times. It was like they weren't sure what I was actually saying.
Exactly.
You know? I had to, and then I spelt it, you know, just to make sure that we were on
They
the
got
same.
it then,
They
didn't
got
they?
it then.
Okay,
we were on
good
the same
deal.
page at that
Good deal.
point. Now I understand this is like a 5-star big seller on Amazon.
Yes, it is.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
That's an amazing accomplishment, girl.
Thank you.
Especially with your first book, and it hasn't been out that long, so.
Just 2 months. Actually, we had the official launch for the book on June 30th at Mama's Cucina's in Baltimore, Maryland, and 100 people came out to the restaurant.
That's great.
And we had a panel of men. So, and it's a diverse book. It's not about one race or the other. It's about men in general, ages 21 to early 60s. I interviewed these men. So I had a panel at the official launch, and the panel was addressed by the group and asked questions based on the book. So I wasn't attacked, or people weren't coming toward me. They know that they could get this information from real men.
Right. So, do you know what this girl did? I know. She was walking the streets, and she'd walk up to men.
I was.
And she would say, "Hey, sailor."
I'd say, "My name is Lolita Kelson,
Right.
and I'm working on a project. I'm writing a book about men and how they feel and what men want women to know about being in relationships with women. Do you have anything you'd like to share with me regarding being in relationships with women? Is there something you want women to know?" And that opened Pandora's box.
Oh,
Leigh.
yes, I would imagine it did. But now let me ask you a question. Were they sharing judgmental things, or were they sharing their feelings?
They were sharing their feelings.
Okay.
That they were sharing their feelings. And as you know, it's been said, I don't know how true it is, but it's been said that sometimes men aren't as expressive with their feelings. Sometimes they shut down and they just don't open up. But after reading It's Not Personal, It's Penis, you have a better take on what men are really thinking, because they told me. I asked and they told me.
And that's a first.
It really is.
I mean, how many
Really
times,
is.
girls, have you said to your man, "What are you thinking?" And what do they say?
Nothing. See?
Nothing.
We know the answer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nothing, you know. So to get them to share is an incredible step
Yeah.
right off the bat.
Well, one thing I noticed, in order to get a man to share with you, you can't debate with him after he offers his opinions or tells you how he feels.
But isn't that just great communication to begin with?
Exactly.
And a lot of women
Exactly.
don't understand that.
Exactly.
You know, men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
Exactly.
You
We
know,
speak 2 different languages.
Exactly.
But we have to learn to listen to what's being said and to hear them.
and that's another thing. And not to take away, and maybe we'll find this when we're discussing the book. Women, when they have a problem, will go to another woman. And they will say, "I went to the doctor today, got some really bad news."
Right.
And you'll say, "I'm so sorry."
Right.
And you let her talk.
Right. And talk.
And talk. And talk until she's through talking.
And then she'll call you the next day and talk
and
some more.
talk some more.
Right, if she's not done.
And then she'll go to her husband and she say, "You know, I went to the doctor today and I got some really bad news." And he said, "Well, let me see how I can fix it."
Right.
You know?
Right.
And so 2 different languages.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
it comes from different points of view.
Exactly.
You know, when a woman has a problem, she doesn't want a man to fix it. She wants him to listen.
Exactly.
Yes.
And she wants him to listen until she's done with whatever the situation is. For example, if I'm having a problem with a boyfriend and he's done something to hurt me, I can call you, Leigh, today and share it with you. 2 days later and share the same story with you. and maybe 4 days later or a week later.
We'd be sitting down having a glass of wine and discussing it.
Oh, I'd love to do that.
Exactly.
Yes, yes. The wine is good.
The wine is good. Yeah.
But if you tell a man, he'll listen the first time. The second time, okay, we have to revisit that again? I thought you were over it.
You told me that already.
You told me that already. How
Right.
many times do I have to hear that?
Exactly.
It's just, it's not that he doesn't care.
Right.
He's not wired for us
Exactly.
to repeat it over and over again.
Exactly.
But a girlfriend knows in her mind, I have to listen to my girlfriend because she's not over this yet.
At the same time, there comes a point when you're listening to your girlfriend, when you tell her, if she keeps doing it,
Exactly.
you've got to tell her, you know,
Exactly.
we've done this, unless you want to bring another bottle of wine, we
Exactly.
don't have anything else to talk about.
Exactly. Exactly.
Because-
Move on now.
Right.
It does reach that point.
Right, it does, you know, and so so this thing of talking with the guys and the guys really giving you their thoughts is like a completely new playing field.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. Wait until we go talk about some of the chapters.
I can't
You're
wait.
going to be amazed.
Now, before we get to that, let's get all the good news out of the way.
Okay.
And then,
Okay.
and then we'll talk, because we'll have things to talk about.
Yes,
But
we do.
They're actually creating a play of your book.
Yes, her name is Sherry Cunningham Cragway. She's a local playwright in Baltimore, Maryland, with a following. And I read part of my manuscript to her as I was reading it, and she said this light bulb went off in her mind. And she said, Lolita, that's a play. This needs to be on stage. And she started writing the play as I was writing the manuscript. And now the book, It's Not Personal, It's Penis, will be a play.
That's awesome, because it I mean, you know, we've had the vagina monologues.
The vagina monologues.
And this, to me, is like the
answer.
Exactly. It's the counterbalance to that. Yeah, so
Exactly.
it's gonna be
And it's
great.
about time.
Well, yes.
It's about time.
Yes. I think we have a phone call.
Okay.
So, hi, you're on the air with Leigh and Lolita. Who are we talking to?
Hi.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm
Hello.
fine. How are you?
Hey, I just wanted to share with you. I've been married 43 years.
Well, good luck.
And I just
Congratulations.
wanted to share with you, I watch Steve Harvey a lot because he's been married 3 times.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to share with you, I understand where you're coming from, but you almost have to understand that it takes a lot of years of growing, and you still don't know everything. And even though you're a specialist on what you need to know and what you're doing, I'm just sharing that because I'm right now at 63. So when I got married, I was 21. So what I wanted to share with you, I'm not here to like stone you. I'm not here to actually saying that you don't know what you're talking about. I'm just here to let you know that it is always experience and learning and growing. And no matter if we have the answers, it's still not the answers at an era. Because back when I was growing up, there was a different era. And I know you appreciate that. I know you understand that. And I have no problem with, but I just wanted to say before you comment, it's very important to me to let you know that there's so many types of marriages, so many different drawbacks. There's so many different understanding of marriage, and we're all different, of course. And what made my life very respectful and understanding is the growing, even though I go through hardships. And if you go through hardships, you learn and grow.
Absolutely.
So I'm just sharing that with
Absolutely.
you because I do appreciate your respect, and I respect you for talking about relationships. And I wanted to make sure you know that I'm not here to make you feel like what you're saying is not important. But I also know for the years' experience, it is very important that we have to definitely talk about different aspects, what makes marriages work, because yes, you are right. Men are different and women are different.
That's right.
Exactly.
And I got you. I have no problem in that.
Well, I thank you.
got you very much, and I'm so happy I was able to call you and you understand where I'm coming from.
Oh, sure do.
Absolutely.
And I respect you both, and I want you to know by me calling has nothing to do with that you don't have nothing that is experience and special And I'm just one of these people I know. And when you're married 43 years, believe me, you learn, you grow with the help of God, and knowing that God is right behind you. And I know you respect that. And there is situations that we'll never, ever understand, so we can't ever say we know it all.
Well, I want to thank you so much for calling tonight, and thank you for sharing that with us.
And I hope you understand that. Please, I'm not here to hurt nobody's feelings.
I understand
I'm just here
completely.
to let you know that it is very important if people are married longer or 55 or 65. I took care of a person that was 65 years, and the only thing they had a problem with, and you're going to laugh about this, all she said is to me when I was giving her care, she said her husband wanted to tell her what she wanted to do with her money. She had her own money, but she wanted to get a dress. But they kept together. They stayed together for 65 years.
Wow.
Now,
That's
I imagine,
awesome.
I wanted to
Wonderful.
share that with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you
Can
for
you
calling,
imagine?
and maybe we'll have a chance to talk on another night. So thank you so much for calling in tonight.
Can you imagine that? 65 years?
No, can't imagine
Yeah.
it. Congratulations on your 43 years, and we'll talk to you later.
Thank you so much. And if you have a comment, I want to hear it.
Thank you. Bye-bye. So, and I'm completely in agreement with that. You know, I
And
watched...
congratulations.
Absolutely.
to
I watched
him.
my parents' marriage, you know, and they were married over 50 years.
And my parents just celebrated their 65th wedding anniversary.
There you go.
So I can understand
And it does. You do have to...
And you grow.
You grow.
You grow.
And you learn.
And
you
you
see, that's the
learn.
other thing. I think when you're together for that long, you learn each other's language.
Exactly.
You know, we're not talking about a married relationship here. We're talking about communication between men and women.
And we're talking about empowering relationships.
Exactly.
We're talking about opening the discussion for subjects and topics you may not want to talk about, but it's in the book.
But we're going to talk.
Yes.
And it's in the book. I want you to take a little look at this.
Guys, I know there have been countless books and novels to help women to get us to treat them better or understand how a man's mind works, but they don't compare to what I'm about to share with you. It's Not Personal, It's Penis, Real Men Feel is a book comprised of real men testimonials and group sessions between men and women to get to the root of what we as men truly expect out of a relationship. How many times have you been in an argument with your woman because she took what you said and twisted it? There's a chapter for that. He meant what he said, what did you hear? Tired of women always trying to change or mold you? You get change for $1, not from a man, he is who he is another chapter that discusses these issues. It's not bashing women at all, but if you want your woman to get a better understanding of you and how your relationship should work out, remember the name. It's Not Personal, It's Penis, Real Men Feel. Get it today at itsnotpersonal.net. That's itsnotpersonal.net. Order it now.
There you have it. And we're being joined by Ray Colley. Hey, Ray.
Hi,
Hey,
Ray.
guys, how
How
you
are
doing?
you?
We
Nice to meet you,
decided we
Lolita.
needed a real man.
Oh. But when is he going to show up?
I'm not
He's
sure.
here.
We can't carry on this conversation without having the other side represented.
Exactly.
So we're using you as the real man.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thanks for joining us. So do you have any comments so far?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, I know you would.
Audience, this is not Leigh talking, this is Ray, okay? I totally disagree with that caller, I'm sorry. I've been here for about 20 minutes, I read your whole book.
It's a very quick read, and a lot of people like that.
And I have to tell you something. I have to say I'm almost 100% positive she has not read your book. And I used to be a counselor in the Air Force. I did marriage counseling, and I'm here to tell you, you can be married 70 years and still not know your partner. Because I've had couples that were married since, high school, and they got divorced in their 70s, and they were not communicating. My favorite chapter is number 6. I'll tell you why, real briefly. Because it doesn't just apply to your partner, it applies to women in general. It says here, when he says something, he means what he says. My aunt used to ask me, I'm half German by heritage, and they're big bread eaters. I'm not a big bread eater. So my aunt would have a loaf of bread done during a meal. And when I was a kid, she would say, Ray, would you like some more bread after I had maybe 4 slices? And I would say, no thanks, Aunt Margaret. She would say, why, don't you like bread? No, I just had 4 slices, you know?
Well, let's continue that in just a second. We've got a caller. So you're on the air with Leigh, Lolita, and Ray. Are you there?
Hello?
Hi,
Yes,
how are you?
I'm fine. How are you, Leigh?
I'm doing very well. Have you been listening to the show and have a comment?
Yes, I do. I have a question. I've married for about 16 years, and I've listened to your last caller and just kind of just picked up a copy of the book, and you're right, it does take a lot of work. My question is, well, I had a good friend, and we used to have a saying that if you can't stand the heat, get out of the studio. So I was actually just trying to ask Ms. Kelson, she has ever been in a long-term relationship, and for how long?
Excuse me,
Have you been in a long-term relationship, and how long?
Yes, 5 years.
Okay. And are you married?
No, I'm single.
Okay.
Uh-oh, there's an alert.
I'm single. And that's one of the reasons why I was able to interview so many men, because I have a lot of male friends, from friends that I had in junior high school, college, and in my professional career as well.
Oh, so these were people you already knew. I thought you were
No,
walking the street picking up strangers.
Actually, I went to laundromats, I went to barbershops, I went to supermarkets, and I engaged in conversation at first and invited a lot of strange men to come to a local conference room. And we had conferences and we had discussions, and on some occasions, the rap sessions lasted 3.5 hours, and the men were just talking.
So are you still on the air with us?
Yeah, I'm just curious, why do you believe that you've been in a committed relationship, you still can have your friends?
Excuse
If
me?
you're in a relationship, can you still have
You
your
kind of
friends?
you kind of said that you were not married, that's why you were able to talk to so many men. So you don't believe that you can be in a marriage or a committed relationship and still have friends?
No. I didn't mean for you to assume because I'm single and I had a relationship that I could talk to the men. I was just saying that because of my personality and because I know so many different men and some men that I didn't know, I invited them and talk with them.
Okay, well, thank you so much, and I'm going to get into this book, and hopefully I'll be able to reach out to you in the letter. Have a good day.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for calling. Now, so people will know, I mean, you just said you were a counselor, and you counseled married couples. You went to Morgan State, and you got a degree in psychology.
Yes, psychology,
so this is not
biology.
something that you're just saying, well, let me just go out and grab these strange men off the street.
All. Actually, I saw a need for men to have a voice, because a lot of the men would talk to me about situations that they should have been comfortable enough to talk with their significant other or the woman in their life who could make the difference. I couldn't make the difference, but I was an ear, and they would talk to me. And so on some occasions, these were relationships that were boyfriend-girlfriend, live-in relationships, and even marriages. And I would say, you have a wife of 16 years. You should feel comfortable enough to say that to her. And some of the comments were, well, she won't listen. Or I've said it twice, I'm not saying it again. Or it's not going to make a difference, she's not going to change. So I found the need for them to vent. So because of that, I thought if I put some of these topics in a book, it would help men feel a little empowered and open up the discussion and educate women a little bit.
And see, that's the whole thing. It opens the discussion.
Exactly.
So from a man's point of view, having read the book, how do you think it best benefits the conversation between men and women?
Well, first of all, there's no pork in this book. There's no filler. And that's why it's so short. I read Men Are From Mars, Women From Venus, and I think that's a very good book, but it was very redundant, and it could have been like a third as long. This gets right to the point, and to make a comment about what one of the callers said, as a man, I can tell you this from experience, men would rather talk to a woman they don't know about things rather than somebody that they're going to have to see every day, because I guarantee you probably have not created a long-lasting friendship with all of the guys you talk to. That's impossible.
You're absolutely right.
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 And if they know they're not going to see you again, why not be honest with
Exactly.
you? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's why this book is honest. And you know what? Leigh knows me. I don't BS people. If I've known Leigh for about 6 years, and we get into discussions all the time about things we disagree on. And if I thought this book was garbage, I wouldn't tell you this was garbage because that's impolite. But I would tell you I didn't think you were right on because I'm a man. But from a man's perspective, and Val, my wife in the US, she'll tell you the same thing. I'm not impressed easily. But I did read the whole thing, and you're pretty much on point.
Let me just interrupt you here for a second. Our first caller has called back, and she'd like to have a conversation with you.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so let it go. Okay, she got disconnected, so we'll have to wait until she calls back.
Okay.
Okay, so as soon as she calls back, she apparently got a few
I
things
will say
to
this, in case you're listening, and in case you can't call back, my only real comment is that it's really not fair to comment on Ms. Kelson's expertise or what she wrote about unless you've read the book. That's what I was trying to get at.
Right, exactly. So you like chapter 6.
Yes.
That was your favorite chapter.
Well, for two reasons. The first reason I spoke about my aunt, and the second reason, the part about when a woman asks a man, do you love me? I actually went through that with my last girlfriend before I met Valerie. And it turned into a major discussion. We were together a couple of months. I had deep feelings for her. And one day I was sitting in her living room, and she finally said, you can be honest with me, you know. And I said, what? She said, just tell me the truth. You don't love me, do you? I said, I never said I did or didn't. She said, well, that's my point. You never said you love me, so you can't. I said, you know, I basically told her, I don't say that easily because how do I know you're going to say it back? Maybe I do love you, maybe I don't, but we don't need to discuss this right now. And I was done for the night with her. She didn't want to talk to me for the rest of the night.
Question for you, because there's been a lot of conversation in the last couple of days I've seen on television and talk shows and stuff like that. And one of the questions that they kept bringing up was, when do you say I love you in a new relationship? And from a man's point of view, does the man say it first? Does the woman say it first? Do you say it a week after you met him? Do you say it 6 months later?
I have never really given that a thought because with each person that I've said I love you, it's come out differently. I had a girlfriend that I did love that I didn't tell her I loved her, and she said it first, and she started crying because she was afraid I wasn't going to say it back. You know, with Val and me, we were about to say it together, but we were afraid how it was going to be received. You know, so I don't think there's a rule.
Okay, so I think our caller, we have a caller. So you're on the air with Leigh, Lolita, and Ray. Hello.
Hello. How are you? Yes, I have a comment I would like to direct to the author of the book.
Okay, just a second. Can you all turn her up just a little bit? We can't hear her. Go ahead, I'm sorry. You have a comment for Lolita?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
My comment is, I've been in relationships, and I've read your book, and I love your book.
Thank you.
And I just have a question that I have a hard time having long-term relationships because I think I just keep picking the same man. It's just a different face.
Do you know why you do that?
No.
I mean,
No, I don't. If I did, I wouldn't do it.
So is there something about the men that you've had in your life that is similar? I mean, like, they remind you of someone? Is that why you keep picking them, or do you just like bad boys? I think we lost her.
I like to be treated like a lady. You know, they say chivalry is dead, but I like doors open for me. you know, roses brought to me and things of that nature, but it seems like all of that has gone out of style.
Well, now let me ask you a question. Has that gone out of style because you allowed it to go? I mean, my mom started dating after my dad passed away, and he was like 82 or something, you know. There was an older relationship. And when she walked to the car, she stood there until he opened the door. When they went to dinner, she stood there till he pulled her chair out, you know. So you have to kind of command what it is, the respect that you know, that you deserve. So it's not really gone. We just have to re-educate them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what about the representative? Because a lot of men, when you first meet them, they show you one face, but when they feel like you're falling for them and you care about them, you see a different person.
Well, if that's not a person you want, you kick them to the curb. Unfortunately, you know, because the face he showed you to begin with, if
it's not the true person.
Yeah, you know, you need the authentic person,
and you need to be happy.
Mm-hmm. You deserve that.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thank you for calling.
Yes, I do. Well, I sure thank you for giving me that advice. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Thank you.
So, I mean, you agree with that?
I think that women very often don't raise the bar high enough.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm not saying that because I'm such a special guy or whatever, because I've been on the other end of the spectrum where I didn't raise the bar high enough and I got treated like a doormat. The only difference is when you start to treat me like a doormat, I'm history.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
So you want to feel appreciated.
Absolutely. I think everybody does, men
Exactly.
and women.
Exactly.
They just did a survey and they found that men cheat because they're not appreciated. Women cheat because they want somebody to snuggle with. You know, they want that cuddly,
right.
You know, and it makes sense. You know,
It
I
makes sense.
think if I've heard a comment from a man, even in the relationships I've been in and the marriages I've had, it's always come down to, you don't appreciate what I do, you know, and that's not what they're saying. They're saying you don't appreciate me. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So there needs to be a little bit more of that. Now let me ask you a question. I mean, one of the chapters, and I think it's a great chapter, is number 7, is man cave, peace be still. Now, do you have a man cave?
I don't know if you'd call it that because I would have to say no, because if I have a music room.
I was going to say, see, I would say yes, because your music room is
But
your
no,
cave.
because it's not off limits. It's like if Val wanted to come upstairs and listen to me play piano or something, I don't care. If I'm playing video games in the bedroom, I can hit pause if she wants to talk. You know, so I've never really been a man cave kind of person where I go to my place and just leave me alone. You know, I mean, you know, if I want to do that, I'll go for a walk or something, but I don't really have a man cave.
Okay, okay. Do you think it's important, I mean, the men that you talk to?
To have a man cave? A lot of them said it is, and it depended on the station of life for them.
Okay.
If they were under a lot of stress, if they had a job that was very demanding, sometimes they said they just use the man cave so they can go someplace and do absolutely nothing on purpose. That they were there, that they just needed time to unwind and just to go someplace and just think, if that's what they wanted to do. A lot of them said they were not opposed to women coming into their man cave, but they just wanted women to understand that men at some points of time like to be by themselves.
I think what's more important than having a man cave or having time to yourself is the ability to have a man cave and the ability to be by yourself and
right.
knowing.
And that's what they said
and
too.
a woman saying you can have, because very often if you don't have a hassle about it, you don't care about it as much.
Right.
You know, you don't want it to be restricted. It's like, you know, that little, you know, noose around your neck. And I do the same thing with Val. I remember when Val and I first got together, she went on we lived in Queens, and she went on a shopping spree in Pennsylvania. And her best friend spoke to me on the phone and said, "Thanks for letting Val go." I'm like, well, let and bow go does not belong in the same sentence. You know, I mean, what am I going to say? No, you can't go shopping. You know, I mean, I'll let her pretty much do whatever she wants. You know, so I mean, you need your space.
Yes.
So, what's your favorite chapter in the book?
My favorite chapter, it varies,
Okay.
Leigh, honestly, from day to day, actually. But, you know, I really love, you get change for $1, not from a man. He is who he is.
I love that.
It's a great chapter.
I think
Thank you.
I think we have another caller, so let's take our caller. You're on the air with Leigh, Lolita, and Ray.
Hi, Ray, this question is for you. I want you to educate me of what you know because it's very important to me since I've been married 43 years. And I think it's important that I have to hear what you have to say.
I'm flattered that you would say that. Thank
so
you.
I respect you very much, and I want you to talk with me.
Okay, sure. Do you have a specific question?
I didn't hear you.
Do you have a specific question?
No, I called in. I'm the one that called in. You said you disagree. So
Oh, okay.
I just want to hear your feedback because it is important.
Okay, what I disagree with, and maybe that might not have been the right word to use, but people tend to think that longevity in a relationship is what keeps it solid, and that's not it. You have to have an open line of communication constantly, and you also have to realize that when you think the lines of communication are open, they may not be open. You have to allow yourself to realize that people are sometimes afraid to tell you the truth about things. People don't trust you, and not in an infidelity kind of way, but they're afraid to tell you how they feel because they're not sure how it's going to be accepted. So you always have to keep the lines of communication open, whether you're married 2 weeks or two centuries. I hope that did I answer your question?
Yeah, because I know when after you disagreed with me, and I wanted to know what you did disagree, and that's why I called back, and I was hoping I got the opportunity to hear what you felt, and which I respect everybody's views. And
Okay.
I wanted to share that with you, so I wanted to hear what your opinion was and why you felt the way you did, and we're all here to learn from each other.
Well, first of all, I applaud you for being married that long because I've been married 3 times, and the 3 of them together
And
don't
that's why
add
I
up to 43
stated
years.
Steve Harvey, because he was married 3 times, and he always gave all his input, and that's why I was laughing, because I know when you make your mistakes, you do learn.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's where I'm at. You learn a lot.
Sure.
Because you know what the input, you know what the feedback, you know what you need to learn from relationships, and that's why I wanted to call in, because I want to hear your view, even though you disagree with my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to hear your view, because I respect you.
Well, thank you very much.
Okay? So thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to hear what you were saying, opposed to what I was trying to explain to you from 1 year, well, not 1 year, but being with one man for 40-some years. And that's a tribute to me, because if you were married 3 times, and Steve Harvey's been married 3 times to learn the lesson, I was just giving you another input, which I wanted you to know about what is going on in communication too. So I do understand you, I will appreciate you, and thank you very much for what you learned and what you're teaching me, even though I'm learning too.
Well, thank you for calling back and sharing that with us.
Ray?
Absolutely.
We'll talk to you later.
And I hope you understand everything.
Okay, so I think
Yes.
I think she clicked. She's gone. So anyway, you don't get change.
You get change
Change for-
from $1,
Right.
not from a man.
And how
He
many
is
women?
who he is.
How many women say I'm going to marry him and I'm
Going to change him, and I'm going to fix this about him, and
I'm going to fix it.
and I am so powerful that I can change
Yes,
this
you wait
man.
a year
You
from
just-
now,
you're
you
not
won't
going
believe
to
him.
recognize
That's
him.
right.
He's not going to wear jeans anymore.
Exactly.
And you know what else? He's going to start cooking.
Exactly. And taking the garbage out.
Exactly.
Yeah. By the time I get through with him,
Exactly.
that's right. Once
You know,
I've got him trained,
it doesn't happen.
no, it doesn't
He is
happen.
who he is.
And women don't understand this.
No, they don't
you know,
get it.
It's
They
like
don't get it.
if he walks through the house and he starts taking the clothes off and he's throwing them, you know,
Exactly. On
and
the
the shoes
socks
come off.
over
and-
here,
yeah, right.
in the living
The
room.
towels are in
Yeah.
the bathroom floor.
That's-
That's not happened.
that's
That's
who
not
he
going to
is.
change.
That's
Exactly.
who he
You know, and so women, you know, I used to get so upset with my ex-husband. You know, you all know my ex-husband, the F word. I used to get so upset with him because here's the dishwasher, here's the sink. Oops, sorry.
That's okay.
And so he would put his dishes in the sink instead of opening the dishwasher and putting them in.
Exactly.
And so I decided I was up to here with that, and I kept asking him to put his stuff, you know. And so I just let it sit there. 2 weeks later, dishes are piled
up,
all over the place, you know, and I just let it sit there.
Did he get the message, Leigh?
He did get the message. He hired somebody to come in. And that worked for me too.
Okay.
I wasn't doing it, you know. And
Neither was he.
exactly. And the thing for me, you know, is like, he used to go to the refrigerator, and I could be upstairs. You know how it is, they talk to you when you're out of the room, you know?
Yeah.
That's not going to
And
change.
expect you to hear every word.
Exactly. It's not going to change, right? And so all of a sudden I'd hear this, Leigh, hon, where's the ketchup? It's in the refrigerator.
I don't see
Hon,
it.
I don't see it. Where's the where's the ketchup? It's like, it's on the top shelf. And he's looking right at it. Right at it.
Yes.
And still can't see it
Can't see
until
it.
I come down the stairs
Oh, I didn't see that.
and take it off the top shelf and hand it to him.
Yes.
It magically appeared. That's why.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, you know what happened is that I had him tested for ADHD.
Okay.
Okay. And during the and during, you know, I couldn't change him, but I wanted to know what I was
Find out.
working with.
Right.
And so
That's a good thing, Leigh.
it really was very helpful because I learned something very important. When you're dealing with a man, and don't take this the wrong way, okay? Especially if they have ADHD, you have A to C, but they sometimes stop at B. Okay. They don't get to C, you know, so they don't see the same things that we see.
Right.
So the doctor said you have to pretend he's blind. Everything goes in the same spot. You never change it. You take the
Right.
ketchup goes on the top shelf on the right side, right there,
Consistency.
so that he'll never have to ask you again where it is. And so I set it all up, and I brought him in. I opened the door, and I said, "This is where everything belongs. Here's the ketchup. Here's the mustard. Don't ever ask me for anything else again, because it's always going to be right there."
Did it work?
It did.
Good.
It really did. But it took, you know, a long time to get the testing done. But
But at least you have an answer.
sometimes you have to do something
Yes.
like that, you know? So from a man's point of view, when you go to that refrigerator, what do you see when you look in?
That's a really hard question. See, I'm very anal about my refrigerator. It's like when we do the shopping, I usually tell Val, put everything on the table, I'll take care of it. And I put it in a nice, neat, orderly fashion. And, you know, it's like if it gets messed up, then I have to rearrange everything again. So it's like,
So you're very
I guess the best way
particular
to
about it.
explain things so that everybody could be on the same page is, it's like either being in a relationship with two women or two men, because Val has got a lot of male qualities, or not qualities. That's wrong noun. But she's got a lot of male, I guess, attributes, or what,
right.
you know. And I've got a lot of female. So we
So you
don't.
kind of complement each other then.
Right.
It sounds like.
I mean, we have our little quirks that we kind of just ignore. You know, I mean, because you know something can bother you at first, and then after a while you're like, it just is what it is. You know, like for example, the dish. We live with two dogs that obviously don't use forks. At the end of the day, every fork in our house is in the sink. So I've just gotten used to just washing them every day. It's just something I do. I don't think about it. You know, I mean, it takes 3 minutes. It's 3 minutes out of my life, no big deal. You know, and I do things that drive her crazy, like when she just mops the floor and I don't take my shoes off right away. I start doing things around the house, and she's like, "I just mopped the floor." I'm like, "All right, well, you know what? I'm gonna do what I gotta do. I'll take my shoes off and then I'll remop." You know, it's just it's a system.
Right.
You know,
And it seems to be working for you. Yeah.
I think I commend that woman. I mean, even though I think that she needs to read this book or whatever, because you need to keep the lines of communication open. I commend anybody that's been married 4 decades.
Oh yes.
That's no mean feat.
And both of them still alive.
Exactly.
You know?
And not on the front page of the news, with I killed my husband or I killed my wife.
Exactly. Exactly.
So.
Oh well.
Oh well.
As opposed to me, I just put him in jail. So
that works.
It worked for me.
You know what I'm saying? That's even worse than murder.
Oh yeah. It was perfect. Yeah. Got him out of the house.
He does have a mean
And out of
streak
your
in
life.
him. So. That's all right.
Leigh, you're so nice.
Thank you.
You're so nice.
Thank you. So I love your book, and back
Thank you.
Back to that. They're not going to change. Don't even try, because you're not going to change either.
No.
And as somebody said, what happens when the caller called in? What happens when you meet them and then they're 2 weeks later they're not that person?
Exactly.
And you've got to be your authentic self when you meet somebody if you want to have a relationship.
Exactly.
Because
be true to yourself.
Exactly. I once dated this guy who I thought was the most free spirit I'd ever met in my life. He was my Jonathan Livingston Seagull.
Okay.
He was CEO of an international plastics corporation. But we'd go out to dinner, and this is New York, and it's a crazy time in New York, as it was. He'd stand in the chair and just look out over the crowd, and I thought, that's pretty cool. He's got all of this self-esteem, he knows who he is, he just,
Gutsy.
lives life, the way he wants. It's his plate, About 9 months down the road, I realized he wasn't Jonathan Livingston Seagull, I was.
Oh.
And he used me as his foundation.
Okay.
So he could do what he wanted.
Exactly.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. So the tables,
Yeah.
because I was a singer and I was a quote unquote small time celebrity, in New York. So he was using my flying so that he could do as best as he could.
Yeah. He was living vicariously through your talent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
But what I find that, and I'll make this real brief because we're running out of time, but I find that people need to have this, then you have the degree in psychology, maybe you'll agree or not, I don't know, but I feel that people should have 2 lists, an A list and a B list. The A list is what you have to absolutely have in a person. The B list is your compromise list.
Right.
And I have my A list, my B list. Val, everything about Val is on my A list. There's some things on my B list she's not. I'm into tall women. Val's 5'2". You know what I'm saying? My A list was, my B list was Italian. She happens to be Italian. But I could have married a Japanese woman or a black woman, or it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? So, but the A list, she doesn't hunt. She loves animals. She's very spiritual. Those are things I had to have in a person.
And I think that that's what people need to do.
Yes.
You need to make those lists, because
I agree.
You need to see realistically what you're looking for.
Exactly. That brings us to a chapter, he means what he says, what do you hear? If you ask him, are you religious, do you believe in God? And his answer is, I question it, I'm a bit agnostic. That's what he means.
Exactly.
That's
he's
what
not
he
telling
means.
you he's going to church with you every Sunday.
Right.
Exactly. And don't expect him
Exactly.
to.
It's not going to happen.
Right.
Don't put that hat on and start at the door and expect him to be
Or
behind
don't
you.
buy suits and expect him to wear them to church every Sunday.
Exactly.
Or read his Bible every night before he goes to bed.
Exactly.
So he's telling you. So listen to what he says. That's all.
And that's part of that communication.
Don't read anything into it. Ray brought up a good point. Thank you, Ray. Usually when you ask a woman a question, a yes or no question, you get yes or no. You get yes or no with an explanation and detail.
And I don't mean to cut you off here, but we're about to go off the air.
Time flies.
Time flies when you're having fun. So here's the book. It's not personal. It's
Penis.
And you can get that at, what your website is?
You can get it at www.itsnotpersonal.net. We have a local distributor, old school distributor.
Well, we're running out of time.
Okay.
You can find it on my website. So I want to thank Ray and I want to thank Lolita. Now that's what I call a great show. And I thank you for joining me on An Ordinary Journey with Leigh Thomas. Come back next week. We've got some great guests all lined up, and we've got so much to talk about. And if you want to sponsor the show, remember to just contact me at Leigh@anordinaryjourney.com. Now, you didn't think I could leave, did you, without giving you at least one more piece of advice? So please go out and make it the best week ever. And until I see you again, just remember to keep it between the ditches. Okay, good night, you all.